If you're not doing big, bold things to put yourself on the map, if you're not doing moonshot moves, you're not going to get to where you want to go. You will have a mediocre experience, mediocre income, and a mediocre career. Hey everyone, welcome back to the show. It's time for another quickie because there's always time to fit in inspiration. And I want to give you one of our free courses. This is a course that Chris and I created together. So it's both him and I coaching throughout this entire course. It is called Aligned. And we put all of the tools that we have learned through spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on coaching and events. And we put it all in one spot. You guys, we made this course a few years ago and we've had thousands of people take it. And we want to start giving it away for free. All because we really, really want you back in our lives and on our email lists. Him and I are both writing weekly emails every single week. And these are things that are not spammy. These are things that are legitimately changing our lives as well. So we want to offer you that course. It is all about becoming not only totally aligned in your life with what your soul's purpose is, but in your relationships and really getting your money mindset right so that you can create and attract all of the abundance that you know that you were put here for. So go check that out. All you have to do is go to becomealigned.com. That's becomealigned.com. And you're going to be able to dive right into that immediately. Even if you just do these like almost as a podcast, like just turn them on in the morning for 5-10 minutes, you're going to get so much out of these modules because Chris and I truly took the time to write out all of the things that really made a big impact in our lives. So go to becomealigned.com and you can get that course totally free. You guys, totally free. At one point, it was almost $1,000. So go and check it out. All right. So I talked in the last couple of weeks about shooting your shot, throwing the Hail Mary. And there's no way that you're going to get to where you want to go without doing quite a few big moves. So I know that when you step up to the plate, I don't think that you are trying to just make sure you hit the ball anymore. And maybe that's what you've done for years. And that is how you get your foot in the door. That is how you get in the game. But once you're in the game, if you don't want to fall behind and you want to move from maybe the middle of the pack, you're going to need to do something big. You're going to need to do something called a moonshot. And I'm reading a book called CEO Excellence. And I don't know if I'd recommend this book for everybody. It's definitely like a very meaty, heavy read for me. And I'm even starting to really get into this world right now. But I do want to share something that I was reading this morning. It says from the book, CEOs who make too few moonshot-sized moves or make them too late in their tenure fall behind the pack. An analysis of the data shows that one of the companies in the middle quintiles of economic profit creation, roughly 40% didn't make any big moves at all over a 10-year period. Another 40% only made one. Meanwhile, the research also shows that making two of those big moves more than doubles the likelihood of rising to the middle of the pack or to the top. And executing three or more makes such a rise 6 times more likely. Furthermore, CEOs who make these moves earlier in their tenure outperform those who move later, and those who do not so multiple times in their tenure avoid an otherwise common decline in performance over time. So why did this impact me so much this morning? I was thinking about in my career as I was moving into different spaces, when I was in fitness, when I was in personal development, and now when I'm creating a company. I'm not just playing small while I'm doing this. When I was in fitness, I thought, if I want to be at the top or be the best, what do I need to do? And those moves were scary. They were big. It was, okay, well, I'm going to have to do something big. I'm going to have to show up big. I'm going to have to let my actions speak much louder than my words. So I started putting everything on the line and started doing fitness competitions because I was like, how am I ever going to rise from the middle? How am I ever going to be seen? I'm going to have to make big, bold moves and put my stake in the ground. So I started competing in fitness. And you guys, I did not win right away. It took me almost 4 years to win something. And by putting my stake in the ground, by making these big, bold moves and saying, okay, well, I'm going to get out there and do the thing, throw my hat in the ring and get in the arena where all of these other people who somehow are, getting success, or the ones that are on these magazine covers, or the ones who are at the top, they have done this before. So I guess that I should do this. So I started doing that. And that wasn't enough. I needed to also start creating a community and adding value so that I had an audience that I could offer these magazines when I started to say, okay, hey, I want to pitch myself for the cover and here's what I can give you. Because I needed to do a big, bold move to be seen. And I realized that being seen wasn't just about winning a fitness competition or being in it, because you didn't have to win to be on the cover, I started to learn. What you had to do was put yourself out there and prove that you're willing to put your neck out there. That's what they want to see. Like, how much are you willing to put yourself on the line and put yourself out there? Like, what big, bold moves are you making and what value can you offer? So I simultaneously started building different communities, whether that was through a YouTube cooking show, or whether that was through cookbooks that I started creating, or whether that was through creating fitness communities in my studio or online. And so when I went to pitch myself, I said, hey, I can also sell this magazine to my community. I can also go speak on stage and make sure that this is the backdrop when I'm up there speaking. So there were a lot of things that I did to put my stake in the ground. And if you think it's going to be just your average everyday moves, it's not. And I want to help you from living in this place where you think you're making big moves, but they're just not big enough. So you're fooling yourself. I think that's the toughest spot to be in, is when you're thinking that you should be getting something, but you're just not doing the work that it's going to take to get there. So then I got into personal development, and I didn't think that I was going to make money and rise to the top just by coaching people or doing small things or being on social every day and putting my info out on social. Like, I'm not going to be able to sell the programs I want or things that I want by doing that. So I put my stake in the ground, and this was now probably 12 years ago, maybe 12 years ago. And I decided to do a personal development event for 3 days. Now, people were not doing this at the time. Some people were doing this for sure. Women were not doing this. I did not know of any women's events that was 3 days long, that was 500 people, who was saying, come here, we're going to shift your mindset, we're going to shift your beliefs, we're going to connect you to a community. And so I put my stake in the ground. I put a lot on the line. I put a lot of risk out there. We did not make money. We were not profitable on like our first 2 events, you guys. I think we probably lost money. And these were the things that we had to do, that I had to do to show up and say, okay, I don't want to be at the bottom or in the middle of the pack anymore. If I want people to pay attention, I have to do a moonshot move. I have to take big risks. And these big risks don't always pay off, and they don't always pay off right away. But they do pay off if you're consistent, because even if they don't pay off monetarily, they put you on the map. So if you're not doing big, bold things to put yourself on the map, if you're not doing moonshot moves, you're not going to get to where you want to go. You will have a mediocre experience, mediocre income, and a mediocre career. Now, if you're just aiming for the middle, that is great. But even if you're aiming for the middle and you want the middle, we know we have to aim higher than the middle. I'm not saying that if you don't want the moonshot moves, that is not a good career or a good move for you. That is amazing. But if you're somebody who wants the big things, who wants something bigger than where you're at right now, you got to do moonshot moves, you guys, or it's not going to happen. You're going to have to shoot your shot. You're going to have to do your Hail Mary. So then in personal development as well, after events, I wanted a bigger career. I wanted to be speaking on bigger stages. So guess what? The event wasn't enough. People wanted a book. They're like, okay, well, yeah, where's your book? Like, what have you put out to the world? What are all your thoughts in one spot so I can check it out? Oh, okay, so I need to do a book now. All right. So you guys, I did not graduate high school. I essentially graduated from the 8th grade, and I'm like, I'm going to write a book? Okay, how does one even do this? And so I got a lot of help. I got a writing coach, which is not hard to get, you guys. There's plenty out there. You can inbox me if you need one, only if you're going to do this. I don't want to be giving my people away to people who aren't going to do this literally tomorrow. So I wrote a book. I got the help that I needed. I put myself out there. It took me 3 years from the initial thought of writing a book. 3 years to start writing a book, you guys, and to finish writing a book. So I was like determined. It was harder for me than probably the average person because I had to really learn a lot more things that I did not understand or know, and structure and form and all of the things in order to do that, and really how to linearly lay something out, because that is the opposite of me. But that was my moonshot move. If I want something bigger, I better do the moves that these people are doing. And I learned how to put a marketing plan together and put a proposal together, and learned a lot about how marketing was a whole lot more important than even what you're putting inside of the book. And so that was my moonshot move for wanting to get on bigger stages. And guess what? It worked. You have to start doing these things. Now with this new company, it's not going to be enough for me to create a great product. It's not going to be enough for me to create a marketing plan that everyone else is creating. I have to create something that not everyone is doing. I have to put so much on the line with this that it's going to be a moonshot move to say, hey, wow, she risked a lot by getting this out there and by doing it this way and by thinking differently and by believing that this could work. And I'm going to have to do that multiple times over. And if you think that you can't do it, you're just not in the right rooms of people who are saying that it's possible. You need to go be listening to podcasts just like this one. You need to go be listening to books of the greats. You need to be going and getting in the rooms of people who are entrepreneurial and saying, yeah, that's totally possible because this person did it and I've done it. And here's where I did it and it failed. And here's where I did it again and it succeeded. You can't listen to average minds because average minds will keep you average. You have to go and get into rooms where people think that anything is possible and they have these moonshot ideas. You guys, you are so much more capable than you think. If you even have the thought, I believe that that is God blessing you with a vision. And if you have vision, you have enough to start taking your first step and getting the people who have the skill sets around you. The best CEOs do not have all the skill sets. They have the skill set to surround themselves with the people that they need. They have the skill set to know how to be resourceful. They have the skill set to say, I don't know everything. So I just want you to know that you don't have to know everything. You just literally have to be the person who can help surround yourself with people who know. Here's another quote from this book. This is from a series of books by Piers Anthony, and the author writes, being terrified, but going ahead and doing what needs to be done is courage. The one who feels no fear is a fool, and the one who lets fear rule him is a coward. And this is what I've always chosen, you guys. Fear is always present, but it does not have control of me. And I am not the person who says, oh, I'm not afraid. When I'm afraid, I know that that is the X that marks the spot for the exact thing, the exact treasure. That is where everything that I want lies, is in that fear. And I follow it. And I don't let it stop me, but it's always present. And when it's not, that's when I get scared. Is because if I'm doing something where there's no fear, then it's easy. Then the average person is already doing that. And that road is too crowded. So start allowing yourself to take action with the fear and know that the road is so much less traveled and that is the thing that's showing you where you need to go next. You guys, I'm so grateful for you. Send this to a friend if you know that they are just stuck. If they're in the middle right now, wondering and doing the things that they think they need to be doing, but they're maybe not fully doing them, help them shoot their moonshot. Help them take that big leap. You guys, and if this is you, you got to do it. Don't sit on the fence anymore. Don't sit on the fence anymore. It's one of the hardest spots to be. Separate yourself from the pack. Do the big things. Do them more frequently than you think that you need to. And that's what is going to get you out from the middle of the pack to the top. I'm sending you so much love. And until next time, earn your happy. Bye, everyone.
Hey, do you know what the big secret is this year? And it shouldn't be a secret because this should be your biggest focus. It is building your community. I am always working on building and nurturing my community, and everyone is talking about the power of community. Without an online community, you just cannot grow organically or create a real movement, which is what I know that we're all after. And you can build trust or monetize your audience. When you get community right, not only does your audience grow faster, but so do your sales. But where's everybody going to be managing their communities these days? And a lot of online entrepreneurs and thought leaders are turning to Circle.so. Circle is an all-in-one community platform. It lets you host content and create discussions, live streams, group chats, and memberships all under your own brand. And what's so cool about Circle.so is that you don't even need a website or Facebook group. Instead, Circle lets you build your own community site where you can host content and manage your members. You can even create locked and unlocked content spaces, groups, and classes. How freaking cool is that? You can put your content behind a paywall too, and you can charge different amounts of money for different spaces on your community site. Circle.so is famously easy to use, and it has a free 14-day trial for you, so you can go check it out, see if you like it, see if you love all the options. Just go to Circle.so. Go check it out right now, you guys. Imagine being able to manage your community, start group chats and live classes, and accept payments all in one place. Kind of mind-blowing since this is usually spread all over the place. You have to log into so many different things. If this is the year to capture, organize, and monetize your community, head over to Circle.so. You can get a free trial and start building your online community right now. Just go to Circle.so. You guys, you get the 14-day free trial. So just go and see if it's for you. It's going to streamline everything and make your life so much easier. It's so freaking cool. Hey all, I'm so excited to share with you, Earn Your Happy is now part of Growth Day Podcast Network. A bunch of us are coming together to bring more growth to the world and support shows and brands that we truly believe in. And one of my friends is also on the network, and I'd love for you to go subscribe to his show. You guys, Trent Shelton has the most incredible podcast. It's called Straight Up with Trent Shelton, and it's going to remind you that you are built for this. I have heard Trent speak in person multiple times. I've listened to his podcast a ton. He's coming on the show, and I literally cannot wait because this man just spits straight fire. It is like truth that goes to your core and makes you take action right away. If you want one of those podcasts that when you're just out on a walk, you can't help but want to start running and run through a wall in your life, this is the show to go listen to. So you guys, make sure that you go subscribe to the show, Straight Up with Trent Shelton. You're going to love it.